Picture this. You are participating in a hackathon. You have been working really, really hard for weeks in a row. You are on a tight schedule, and suddenly your app stops working. When you're debugging, you realize you suddenly have a file of 600 lines, spaghetti code. How did that happen? And what do you do to fix it? Hello there, I am Jorge, and I am an indie iOS developer participating in the Shipaton, which is a hackathon organized by RevenueCat. Before I get into my code update, I wanted to talk about why small habits make a big difference oriented to the world of mobile apps. I learned about this concept in the Atomic Habits book by James Clear. Basically, it says that if you get 1% better every day for a whole year, you will end up being 37 times better. Conversely, if you get 1% worse every day for a whole year, you will decline nearly to zero. I was thinking about this because my biggest desire for my app is to change people's lives, which made me curious about what are the apps that are changing my life. So I started looking at the apps I use every day. I noticed these are apps that allow me to make small incremental changes day after day. If you're curious about the list of apps that are silently changing my life, you can check in the description or in the comments. I will have a blog post with the list of the apps. But the key concept here is that as developers, we have the power to create a single app, a piece of code that can help someone every day. And at the end of 1 year, if they happen to use our app every day, they can be exponentially better at what the app is helping them to be. Conversely, you can have the opposite with apps. And this is already happening. We see that the IQ of new generations is going down. While I'm sure there are many variables that go into this, I'm pretty sure that the apps that we are using every day have a lot to do with this. So this is a reminder to me and to every developer. Be mindful about what your app is encouraging the user to do day after day. And be mindful about what are the apps that you are allowing into your life. Okay, and now it's time for the code update. In one of my previous videos, I promised to share the victories and the failures. I failed to meet my deadline. Even though I worked on reducing the features of my app so I can ship the minimum lovable product, the simplest app that users can love, my plan was the following. Last week, I was going to push my app to test flight and share it with everyone else so I can start getting feedback, implement basic stats and the mascot, and then third, implement the paywall powered by RevenueCat. With that last milestone, I would have my app ready to submit to the application store. After a few bug fixes, my app suddenly stopped working and I started to panic because when I went into debugging the code, I realized I end up with a huge file of 600 lines of code. I was feeling sick because this happened, I think it was Friday, keeping in mind that by Monday, I wanted to have the app ready for the App Store. So I had to breathe deeply and figure out the next steps. Long story short, the reason for the app to stop working was extremely simple. During one of the commits, I removed the permission for notifications. That was really, really small. But I realized I was building on top of something that was not sustainable. I decided to stop and to refactor this file into multiple individual files. Because if the core feature of my app is not working, how can I push it to the App Store? And even worse, how can I put a paywall for an app that is not doing its job at its minimal version? So the reason why I'm sharing this issue that I faced is because I imagine this as being something that is extremely easy to happen today with AI, which leads me to the learnings, because I cannot allow this to happen again. So here is what I will be changing going forward. Believe it or not, I was working directly on the main branch. I was not creating pull requests. Let me know in the comments if this is happening to you too, because it's so easy that you start working on your app and you just do your first commit and continue making more commits, and things get busy and you're working on a deadline and the app starts to grow. You completely forget about the workflows that you usually have when you're working with a team. Maybe you think there's no sense in having a pull request or even a code review, but I think there is. And with AI, even if you're working alone, you can have a review on your code. It's very timely that OpenAI just announced GPT-5 Codex, which includes review capabilities that directly integrate into GitHub. So going forward, this is how my workflow is going to change. I will create branches. Then when I'm ready, I'm going to create a pull request. I will have AI to review my pull request. And for meaningful changes to the code base, I will wait, if possible, until the next day. Because if you're looking at it with your brain well rested, you can spot these tiny changes that can make a huge difference in your app. So that's the update I have for you this week. Please let me know in the comments if you have faced something similar and what are your best tips to overcome this. In the same way, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I hope that for the next week I will have good news in regards to my app. Bye.